Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping back by. It's Tia. Happy Friday. Happy Fibro Friday to you all. I hope your week was amazing. I hope that you took self-care time, carved it out of each day. And if not, I hope that you carve some out today because you deserve it. If you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back, my friend. This is a typical video for Friday over here. I like to talk about fibromyalgia related topics Monday and Wednesday. Those videos can be about anything. Usually, fragrance is one of the topics, but anything goes. But Fridays are always devoted to fibromyalgia. I'm coming up on not one, incorrect, 4 years post diagnosis. And I'm really, really glad because I've come such a long way from where I was. And this seemed like a good time to just kind of look back and reflect on my experience, what kind of things, as far as thoughts, thoughts and concepts are around fibromyalgia, what kind of things kind of swirl around it that I found to be myths. And I'm hoping that this gives you some hope if you're someone that's been diagnosed, or if you're someone that perhaps you suspect you have it, but you haven't been diagnosed. I hope that this gives you some hope and gives you some ideas on what is possible if you're suffering from chronic pain that may have been described and diagnosed as fibromyalgia, or if you're suffering from something else. So I've got my list here. Let's get started. The first myth that I've heard related to fibromyalgia, the biggest myth of all, is that it's not a real condition. Now, some of you may have had doctors who have taken this stance. I fortunately did not have any doctors that denied the existence of fibromyalgia. I did have doctors who denied that I had it or refused to do the proper diagnostics and to give me the label of fibromyalgia. And it didn't come, even though I had gotten tested years prior to my diagnosis for a bunch of other things. My diagnosis did not come until the beginning of 2019. So it took years, but there was never a disagreement among doctors that this existed. But I've heard some of you have experiences. If you've been advised that this is not real, that is a myth. Please put it aside. It is real. It has been confirmed by better doctors than the ones you're meeting telling you that it's a myth. Now, the second myth relates very closely to the first myth. The second myth is it's mind over matter. The only reason why you might be in pain is because you aren't thinking positively enough and strongly enough about wellness. To be clear, if you have fibromyalgia, your nervous system is doing the most and the least at the same time. And it is dysfunctional. It needs help and support in regulating the signals that come in and how it responds to them. This is not you just thinking that you don't feel well. This can be confirmed with brain scans, blood tests, and the like. They can see something is afoot through objective diagnostic tools. Do not believe that this is just a matter of your brain telling you something that's not true. You are not lazy. You are not uninspired. You are sick. You have fibromyalgia. You are sick. Your body is in distress and it needs support, not people denying that it has this distress. It is in distress and it needs support. It needs help. And this is why you cannot listen to people who are assuring you that you are imagining all of this. It is untrue, an absolute myth. If you've been diagnosed, you have it. Okay. Now, another myth. On the opposite side, you've got the side that is in denial. Then you got the side that believes it, but maybe it's just not coming together a certain way. The first thing on the opposite side, which is myth number 3, is that you are doomed to be in chronic pain forever. That is not so. Just like you wake up some days and you have a twinge of pain somewhere, and some days you don't, as a person with no pain might experience, sometimes they sleep a little wonky and you get a little ache in your shoulder, ache in your neck, or whatever. The same thing with fibromyalgia. Some days are better than others. Every day is not paralyzing pain for all people who suffer with it. And if you are one of the people who suffers from constant paralyzing pain, my empathy and sympathy is extended to you. Many of us do not have that experience every single day. You're not doomed to live a life of bed rest for the rest of your life simply because this is your diagnosis. There are many degrees and flavors of fibro, and it's a spectrum of symptoms that you can experience. Paralyzing pain may not be your portion forever, and I hope certainly that it's not. But if anyone tells you that that's what this means, even if that's what you're experiencing now, it's not fixed. This is not something that has to remain this way. Your body can do things to adjust and to make your life more livable when certain aspects of your body are supported. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you're doomed to be bedbound for the rest of your life simply because you've had a rough few months or even a rough few years of life. Now, the next myth is that if you treat the symptoms, you're getting the best result possible. Yes, definitely treat the symptoms. If you are in pain, relieve the pain. If you are nauseous, relieve the nausea. If you are experiencing any symptom, yes, get the relief from that. But just know that temporary relief measures are not the best for addressing it over the long term. As with anything, sometimes when you're taught to, take care of the symptoms, the perspective is this is as good as it gets. If you can just get yourself some relief, that's the best you can hope for. And that's not true. You can recover certain things. You can reestablish certain things in your body. You can fortify certain systems. You can support certain systems. There are many things that can happen outside of simply treating the symptoms or addressing the symptoms as you have them. So while that is good for giving you some immediate relief, that should not be your long-term plan. You shouldn't be chasing immediate relief every single day for the duration of your life. That's exhausting, first and foremost. And second, it's not the best way to get the quality of life you want, because you want part of your quality of life to include a measure of freedom. And if you're always trying to put out little fires from fibro, you'll never free. You're always on the lookout for the next thing to go wrong that you got to fix. And then it's, like I said, it's exhausting. So addressing the symptoms is fine for giving you relief, but the goal should always be to get to the root of some things and to do some deeper healing, whatever that looks like for you to get your body where it needs to be. And the last myth, myth number 5, there is no cure for fibromyalgia. I would say this myth is true. This statement is true if you're speaking within the context of Western/allopathic medicine. If you are speaking strictly within a Western medicine frame of mind, it's true. There is no cure based on specifically what US doctors say. However, there have been reports of people who have been cured from their symptoms, including some US-based MDs who have successfully eliminated symptoms within themselves and within their patients. The thing you need to know about cures is that if it comes in a pill, it probably is not the cure you're really wanting, for fibro anyway. What you want is a lifestyle, a diet, a perspective, a system to support your wellness, so much so that your symptoms become negligible or completely gone. That is the goal if you are suffering from fibromyalgia, which means your cure is as unique as you are. The lifestyle, the diet, the systems to support your wellness are bespoke. So if you are struggling to get something that works for you, that's only because you may be trying someone else's wellness cure and it's just not suited to you. You have to do quite a bit of digging with this journey. And I, I hesitate to say this out loud because if I say it, I commit myself to it. But let's go ahead and do it. I'm coming up with a tool that I want to make available to help people on this path. I am letting the inspiration come to me for what this tool should include. When it's available, of course, I'll announce it over here. But the long and short is it's bespoke. It's a bespoke cure. It's a solution that not everyone will get 100% benefit from, but you can create your own solution. You can solve your own problem if you have the right team and the right resources at your disposal. That being said, there are a lot of people who, when they step on this path, they first get diagnosed or they're struggling to get a diagnosis and they can't. They don't know where to turn to. They go online. There's so much information. There are hundreds and hundreds of peer-reviewed research articles, all kinds of journal articles that you look at them and it makes your head swim with the possibilities. You go to see who's cured it, who's treated it, who's gotten great results, and you're literally just hopping about. And it's very hard to put all of that into a workable plan that supports your wellness. But as someone who has gotten, I would say, like 80% of my plan together, so that I am not nearly where I used to be, I can assure you it is very possible to come up with a cure for you, but it does not have to look like someone else's cure. Your cure may look like giving up a job that has stressed you out to the max and doing something that pays you way less but allows you midday naps. It may look like completely cleaning your diet out and eating a very specific diet that nurtures certain things. May not be vegan, may not be keto, may not be anything that you've tried before, but you notice that when you eat this way, you don't feel pain, you feel clear headed. That might be your path. Your path may look like you relocating to a different place that has a culture that supports the wellness that your body needs. You know, if you are a person who is highly sensitive to cold, your cure might look like moving, you know, several hundreds or thousands of miles south of your current location in order to get somewhere that is more supportive of your wellness. There are so many ways that this could play out. So cures for me don't look like cures for you or for anyone else, but you can cure it. You can eliminate the symptoms. You can come into a doctor's appointment with none of those fibro symptoms, even though you've been diagnosed previously, if you've created a lifestyle that supports the wellness that's needed to reduce those symptoms to the point of them being non existent. So don't feel like you have to live with this all your life. You may not. You may not. And you may, to be honest, you may live with these symptoms all of your life, but you may create a lifestyle where, yeah, the symptoms are there, but they never rear their heads because so much support is in place to keep them at the very low levels where you're feeling like you don't have symptoms at all. So that's it. Those are the 5 fibro myths that I wanted to bust for you. I hope that you are encouraged. And if you have resources or if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the description and the description box, in the comments below. And I will talk to you all very soon. Have a great weekend and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.